Hello, this is Unit 1, Lesson 3, Trinomial Factoring. Trinomial factoring is a tool that's used in algebra. It's used to factor trinomials, as it's talking here, which is simply an expression of three terms. Okay, it is very useful in using to solve quadratics and other types of formulas with x squared, x cubed, and this type of thing. Okay, so it's primarily used for quadratics, and we'll talk about that in a minute because it allows you to identify the roots or the solutions to the quadratic very directly. Okay, but today we're just concerned with the factoring. So let's take a look at this. Okay, example 1a. What we're talking about here is we're going to use the box method to find the factors of x squared plus 2x minus 48. We begin by placing the x squared and the negative 48 terms in the box and producing a product, which means that we multiply these two together. Okay, so this gives us x squared and negative 48. Okay, the product that we get is negative 48x because we just multiply our x squared, because we just multiply these two together. Okay, that's the first part of this. We need to keep in mind that it's negative 48x squared. We need to have something that multiplies together and adds up to 2x. So let's go ahead and fill this in. We've already got these two filled in. So here's what we got. 8x times negative 6x will give me negative 48x squared. Okay, so the 8x and the negative 6x are the terms that I'm going to put in here. Actually, I got them backwards. Here's what we got. Okay. So what we're going to do at this point is find out what the sum of those are. 8x minus 6x is equal to 2x. So that meets our criteria because number one, they multiply to this and they also give us this. Okay? Let's look at example 1c. Okay? What this is doing is this shows how to go ahead and figure this out. Okay, because we start out, we got our entries into our table here, or our box, whatever we want to call it. Okay, now what we're going to do is find the GCF of each row. So these are the rows. So the greatest common factor of this is x. So we put an x here. The greatest common factor of these two is 8. So we put the 8 over here. Okay, then we're going to find the greatest common factor of each column. So in this case, what we have here is x and negative 6. Okay, so if I take x plus 8 and multiply it times x minus 6, that will give me the trinomial that we had here, which is a result of multiplying these two expressions together. All right, that's the method. So let's go ahead and use it to find this. They want us to find the factors of 6x squared minus 17x plus 5. So we need to specify the product and the sum that were used in arriving at this answer. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the 6x squared here and the 5 here and multiply them together to get the product. Okay? Well, this is what we end up with when we get all the GCFs, but when we get the product, 6x squared times 5 is 30x squared. The sum is going to be these two added together, so that gives me negative 17x. Okay? The terms that are going to multiply together to give me this trinomial is going to be 3x minus 1 times this quantity 2x minus 5. So this is what we would have as our total answer here. Okay. Let's look at example 3. They want us to do the same thing to find the factors of 3x squared plus 13x minus 10. Okay, so they want us to specify the product and the sum that were used in arriving at this answer. Okay, so once again we're going to have 3x squared here, negative 10 here, so that product is going to be negative 30x squared. Then we're going to have to find two things here that give us negative 30x squared, but add together to give us plus 13. So that will give us 15 times negative 2x, which would give us the positive 13, because 15x minus 2x is 13x. Okay, so that gives us x plus 5 is the greatest common factors here, and 3x minus 2 this way. So the product is these multiplied together, which was negative 30x squared. These added together is the sum, which is 13x. And then that is our finished product of coming up with the factors of this particular trinomial. Okay. Okay, one important sign rule is simply this. If the item in either cell indicated here or both is negative, then the corresponding GCF up here or over here adjacent to it will be negative. Otherwise, the GCF will be positive. So if this one's negative, this is negative. If this one's negative, then this one's negative. Okay, thank you very much for this lesson. This one I know is a little bit shorter than the others, but that's great in a good way. Okay, make sure you bring any questions that you have to the class tomorrow. Put it onto the parking lot. Also be ready to do your WSQ, which is going to be what did you watch, your summary of what you watched, and at least one question you expect to see on the test from it. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.